is up everyone, so we're going to be doing another triple episode review for Vanguard. I figure I might as well just try to catch up as much as possible, and I think I could definitely get 3 episodes reviewed in one, simply because there's not really much to talk about since all 3 of these actually focused on card fights. And of course, I think that these particular 3 episodes, 4, 5 and 6, actually had a very good synergy with each other for the fact that they actually combined to make one good storyline, or one short storyline. So we obviously start off with episode 4. Basically, we left off with episode 3 assuming that Mikuru actually got kidnapped, but apparently she didn't. It was just a huge misunderstanding, and it was more so Esuka actually trying to recruit Mikuru as an idol. So definitely very interesting turn here. You can clearly start to see that Esuka isn't actually turning out to be the antagonist or the villain of this particular arc, but more so she might actually turn out to be someone on Shin's side. Now, of course, in the previous episode we already know that Esuka actually has some kind of relationship with Misaki and her family, so very curious to obviously know what happens there. At this particular point we still don't particularly know what happens. However, that being said, episode 4 pretty insane with the fan servicing. Never really see this too much in the original series and even the G series, but this one is pretty crazy, so you'll just have to see it if you haven't yet. But yeah, the episode pretty much was a battle where you had pretty much Mark waking up Tatsuya, and they both go back to Esuka's so-called building again, going up against different, I guess they didn't have to go up against anyone, they pretty much just got to go up. Mark disguised himself as Ninja Master. Mark decided to go up against Toneri, and while that's actually happening, what's also interesting is that obviously Mikuru is trying to be, I guess, convinced, and she's having her interactions with Esuka as well, so that's definitely very interesting. But while that is happening, there is actually a good fight between Mark and Toneri, where we actually see Nubutamas and Gold Paladins again in action, so always a fun thing to see. What I really like about these card fights in this particular episodes 4, 5 and 6 is that they actually do really well at explaining what each of these clans do. So what this means is, in real life we could actually have a good idea of what the clans actually play like, and as a result we get a good idea of what we want to choose to play ourselves. The fight itself pretty much ended with Ninja Master actually winning this, and as a result we find out it was a huge just misunderstanding to begin with, because in the end Mikuru actually rejects the whole offer, and she comes out to find Tatsuya and Ninja Master, or rather Mark, all actually just there to try and rescue her. As such, we move on to episode 5, where we basically have Nanami feeling pretty much insulted that Mikuru actually rejected Esuka's offer, and as a result, what's interesting about this is that she pretty much just gets really annoyed by Mark, and overall just turns out to be a fight. I felt this was definitely very obscure. I really just felt it was really random, the fact that she just got so bothered by Mark, but I guess it was more so his whole not giving up attitude that actually was something that she particularly hated, and as a result a whole fight began in this one. So we actually get to see Neonectars now in action, so that was definitely really cool. Amazingly, of course, Nanami ended up winning this. Makes sense because she is meant to be stronger than Toneri. But yeah, it was really good. In the middle of all this, Shin obviously followed the manager along, and pretty much through several detours he finally managed to get there and see the end of the fight, where Ninja Master, or rather Mark, actually ended up losing, and because of that Nanami actually ended up insulting Mark, and due to that Shin obviously felt offended and he wanted to actually go up against Nanami himself. The episode pretty much ends off with Shin challenging Nanami, and as a result Shin is wagering his shop to actually give to Asuka, while Nanami is actually just supposed to apologize to Mark after she loses. So we definitely get to see something really cool going on in the next episode. So moving on to the next episode, episode 6. So moving on to episode 6, we get to see a battle between Genesis and Neonectars, so definitely another very cool matchup. And what I like about this one is that Mikuru was just so clueless about what's actually happening that Tatsuya actually has to explain every single thing that's going on. As a result of this, it was really cool that even the real life viewers that are pretty much us are actually able to get a grasp of what these decks actually do. So I really do like the way that they're actually doing this to pretty much promote a particular clan in some sort of way by giving more details of what they actually do. Interestingly enough, Shin actually did manage to go into his so-called Valkyrion, so that was definitely really awesome to see again. Very much so loving that combo. I don't see that happening with any of the other card fights, so right now Shin is actually turning up to be one very good character. But of course, pretty much by the end of it, we get to witness the whole backstory to Nanami and why she actually feels indebted to Asuka, and we also get to see a bit of the relationship with Shin and Rive as well, in the sense that it's very similar to Nanami and Asuka. Overall, what we've actually learnt from just these 6 episodes alone is we have Nanami and Toneri as the new characters with their particular traits. Toneri is pretty much a guy who always needs to eat food, mainly burgers and drinks, whereas Nanami has a love for cats, where she's actually trying to hide that from Asuka. So very interesting dynamics here. Hopefully we could clear this whole big misunderstanding up, and as a result we could actually have them all pretty much interact as a proper team to go up against a proper antagonist or villain for this particular series. But for now, you could definitely see that there is something wrong with the way things are going, and clearly it was just a huge misunderstanding that Shin actually had, and it was also very cool to see. By the end of the episode, one thing I actually wanted to take away was Shin actually realized that he hadn't even opened up the shop yet, and Asuka is actually trying to do that all along. As a result, that was pretty much why she was the one who was trying to take over the shop, Card Capital, while Shin was trying to reject her. So I want to see what actually happens in the next episode. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this review. So tell me what you guys think about these episodes. But in the meantime, hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you next time.